Welcome back, trackside once again, race fans here to the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. Swift Motorsports BUTTKICKER Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series fires things off for the final race before championship night next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. But tonight we've got to tackle the Rattlesnake 170 right here under the lights at Pheonix Raceway, our third race at Pheonix this week. Will we see another barn burner like we have the previous two nights? We're going to have to wait to find out. There's your track information. 75-degree track temperature, not too bad out there for the drivers. Tell you what, why don't we go ahead and get to that qualifying information. How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV lands? Glad you could join us here tonight from Pheonix Raceway as Josh Weinrich goes top of the speed charts. 27:40 is the fast time here in qualifying. Todd Craig right there, close second. How about David Elliott in the 42 machine sitting right there in third for the time being? And Justin Gann gonna go quick time tonight. 27:38 for Justin Gann in the fast Ford Mustang. Gonna take that top spot in the Airs High Racing Paints RB Custom Rigs Ford Mustang. Jason Stewart, he puts down a pretty decent lap just outside of the top 10. Mike Rominger, Darren Clement, still yet to put in their time lapse. We're just at the 3-minute mark in this 5-minute qualifying session. And as we already alluded to, we've seen two great races so far here this week, here right at Pheonix Raceway for Swift Motorsports, whether it was in the Airs High Racing ARCA Series or last night in the Performance Truck Series. Both great races. I can assure you we're going to have another fine race here tonight as the music begins to fade. Time on the stopwatch ticks away. A minute and a half remain as Justin Gann keeps the top spot. Looking to see if we were going to have anybody else get out there on track and have anybody else put down a time lap, and it doesn't look like anybody else left to go out and put a time lap down. With just about 60 seconds remaining on the stopwatch, that's pretty much going to do it. That's going to be it. Justin Gann going to take the pole position here tonight for the Rattlesnake 170. 170 laps around this 1 mile funky little shaped track. It's been reconfigured and redone. It's got all sorts of fun out there. And Justin Gann gonna take the pole position here tonight. He'll lead him off of pit road. We're going to step away from track for just a brief commercial break, get things set up and ready to go trackside for the national anthem. So don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back here from Pheonix Raceway.
so proudly railed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And back trackside as we join the fans in the stands, getting ready for another great round here with Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series. We mentioned this was the final cutoff race before the Championship 8 is decided. So I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and bring you some of that championship information, let you take a look at it real quick before we fire things off as drivers make their way through final pre-race inspection. Todd Cray sits at the top of the point standings. Mike Rominger, Josh Weinrich right there knotted up with each other. Those drivers, for all intents and purposes, are fairly safe coming into tonight's race. Looking inside of that top 8, really got to get a close battle though back there around Jason Stewart, Nick Hunt, Gary May. What about Chad Osborne? Osborne knotted up with 2095, just 12 points on the outside. Looking in, will we see one of these drivers outside of your top 8 find a way to walk away with the checkered flag? Find a way maybe to point their way into the Championship 8. Long way to go, long way to decide, and it looks like the drivers have begun to make their way to pit road. Final few drivers making their way to their starting spot. And as you begin to hear those bells in the background, you know the familiar sounds. You know it's time to run down tonight's starting lineup in the Rattlesnake 170 right here for Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series, starting inside row number 1, your pole sitter, the 30 of Justin Gann. Josh Weinrich just to his outside. Can the double deuce, the 22 of Todd Cray, make his way from row number 2 by the end of the night? David Elliott going to start just to his outside in the 4th position. How about the 29 of Mike Rominger going to round out your top 5 with the 00 of Nick Hunt just to his outside. Back in row 4 here tonight, the 56 of John Wimbish and the 17 of Tommy Haynes. Jason Stewart, Darren Clement rounding out your top 10. Back in row number 6 tonight, the 11 of Casey Duncan and the 5 of Chad Osborne. One more row to go. There you have Gary May, Jackson Bell, Stephen Ayers Jr. rounding out the field here tonight. Hats off to the race control and admins just down the hall, Don Kidder and Andy Starcher. Let's kick this thing off. Let's get it going. Driver's got a little bit to get to that restart line, and the music's gonna fade away, and we're gonna get set to fire things off. And there it is. Green flag flies. For the first time here tonight from Pheonix Raceway, the Rattlesnake 170 has begun. No, but a quick caution here tonight before we even finish lap number 1. No real close battles there for a second, it looked like, but Casey Duncan has some trouble. Let's go back and see what went down. Let's see what brought Duncan around on track. There you can see Duncan down on the bottom of the racetrack, and it looks like a little bit of contact between Darren Clement and the 11. Oh my gosh. Who was that masked man? Did you see that at the end? Oh my goodness. Let's go back, check that one out. Oh, Darren Clement, no front clip on the front end of his 32 machine. That's going to be some big time trouble. The Busch Light sponsored Chevy Camaro, and there it is. Just cleans it up right there. That's going to be it. Darren Clement going to be on pit road for quite some time. We'll jump back to the front. Caution flag, lap number 1. And I don't want to say, is this a prelude to what we may see going on track tonight, but very, very seldom do we see a caution flag this early with the Swift Motorsports drivers. So jockeying for real estate early on the track. I thought he may have been just a little bit clear and was not, in fact. And around goes Darren Clement. Stephen Ayers Jr. going to come in, pile in a little bit late. That's going to put the 62 on pit road for quite some time. The KC Duncan machine, the Toyota Supra. He's going to be on pit road and damage control, as well as that 32 of Clement. All 3 of those drivers involved in that first incident, all on pit road. And well, a little anticlimactic, huh? A little bit of an anticlimactic start. We were getting ready to fire things up, kick it up a notch, and, well, we're going to have to back it down. Reset, re-rack, reload, and get ready to restart. Driver should see the one to go this time around. You know, the boss man in the flag stand gives him the peace sign. That means 2 more laps to go before we go back. Green flag racing. Pole sitter, again, able to fire off right at that restart box. We seen last night, late in the race last night, a driver jumping the gun just a little bit early, receiving an EOL. Or no, I apologize. It was a pass-through penalty. That is correct. A pass-through penalty being handed down last night for jumping the restart box. Justin Gann going to have to eyeball that restart line. You don't want to get popped with a penalty. You don't want to get popped with a drive-through penalty either. Not right here at Pheonix Pit Road. Such a long pit road now with this reconfiguration. You're going to go 1 lap down easily, if not possibly even 2. And there it is, the one to go this time around. My good buddy Travis Smith going to be able to pull the iRacing pace car down and off out of the raceway this time around. Your top 7, all right where they were running before the caution flag, so not much going on through the field so far here tonight. Just 1 lap of green flag racing in the books, as the pace car will duck off this time around. Keep an eye on that restart box. Drivers make their way down the old front stretch. This is where the flag stand used to be, right in that area right there. No longer. It is up and around turn 1 and in the middle of the dog leg almost. And here we go. Green flag flies. Once again here at Pheonix Raceway, Gann bringing them deep into the box for the restart there, making sure he wasn't getting a penalty. Weinrich in the 84 struggles to get going on the outside lane. The 42 of David Elliott lined up right behind him. Don't count that 42 out. He went to victory lane last week at Kansas Speedway. So look for that 42 A-Shock sponsored Camaro to run well. And oh, looks like we've got another caution here early. A rash of cautions now as Jackson Bell and John Wimbish both have contact. Let's go back and see what happened with Bell here. 23 Toyota Supra down at the bottom. Oh, and just contact. That is a hard lick for Wimbish. My goodness. Just kind of along for the ride in that one. Really, I mean, if you really think about it, Wimbish just coming off of the corner, not really knowing anything's going on behind him, and boom, right into that inside wall, and that's going to put us under caution. Once again, we'll take one more look at it here. Bell maybe being a little bit over-opportunistic at the time. And contact into that left rear quarter, and that's all she wrote. The Texaco Havoline 56 of John Wimbish goes around on track. Jackson Bell also has to head to pit road. We'll jump back at the front with your race leader, Justin Gann, who continues to lead tonight's races. We've had a rash of cautions early here tonight. 2 caution flags. 8 laps into tonight's race, and we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back with all your green flag action live here from Pheonix Raceway.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
We got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Looks like your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
And back trackside as the iRacing pace car ducks off field. Still in the hands of your pole sitter, Justin Gann. Todd Cray still just to his outside. Josh Weinrich, David Elliott back in row number 2. Nick Hunt, Mike Rominger still in row 3. Row 4, Jason Stewart and Gary May. Stephen Ayers Jr. now into that 10th position. He was caught up in an earlier incident. Already back in the top 10 and on the gas, and green flag flies. Green flag back in the air here from Pheonix Raceway in the Rattlesnake 170 as Justin Gann scoots away from the field. Josh Weinrich trying to make a position on Todd Cray, and Weinrich shoots out of a cannon. Look at the speed here coming off of turn number 3. Back down the front stretch and into turn number 1 we go. Todd Cray trying to battle for that race lead. He's not going to be able to get there just yet. Josh Weinrich to the bottom. Weinrich looking to grab the top spot. Gann and Weinrich side by side here at Pheonix Raceway in the Rattlesnake 170, and it looks like Josh Weinrich gonna take that spot away off of turn number 3. He'll slide up right across the track, right across the nose of Gann, and take the top spot away. We'll go ahead and drop that time and scoring down for you, let you follow along just like we do up here in the booth. And yes, unfortunately, the 32 was caught up and involved in an on-track incident. Not really of his doing, just a little bit of race contact and into the outside wall. Hard hit coming in after that. Stephen Ayers Jr. not able to avoid it and into that pile-up as well. So Clement, he's got an uphill battle on his hands now. Came into tonight's race 5 points ahead of the cutoff line. So he has got to fight and claw for everything he can here tonight. He is battling with Nick Hunt, Gary May, the Chad Osborne, all battling with each other. And Weinrich doing what we have seen him do multiple times throughout this season, and that's grabbing the top spot and beginning to step away. Half a second advantage for the 84 already as we cross the line for lap number 15 here from Pheonix. Tight battle for the second position on my goodness, on track. Justin Gann, Todd Craig going at it all over each other. Gann has had a fast car here tonight. Wonder if he's dropping back just a little bit. Woo, big wiggle out of that Bets for Paradise Infinite Hero sponsored number 22 Chevy Camaro of Todd Craig. David Elliott, Mike Rominger loaded up right behind them, all the way back to 6th, 7th, and 8th to find your first group of Toyotas. Josh Weinrich leads the field in one of those Supras. Then it's another 4 cars before you find another cluster of those Toyotas. And we've seen a little bit of a transition this season. During the season, as a matter of fact, we've seen a few drivers changing manufacturers and in different cars. Earlier in the year, we've seen races dominated by those Chevy drivers. Now we're seeing fields that are being dominated by the fast forwards in those Supras. The Toyotas leading the charge as of late. Weinrich with 4 race wins to his name, bringing Toyota some fortune and fame this year. How about the 3 race wins for Justin Gann and his fast Ford Mustang as well? David Elliott running well for the Camaros. Todd Craig running with the Camaros. Both of those drivers combined have 4 race wins. But it's not about race wins. It's about being consistent. It's about where you'll find yourself at the end of this thing. How about Nick Hunt? He needed to have a solid run here tonight. Came into tonight's race 4 points behind the cutoff line. Just 4 points behind Jason Stewart. And where is Jason Stewart? 2 cars behind. Darren Clement, 5 points ahead of that cutoff line. Where is Clement? He's back in 13th. Could David Elliott, could Nick Hunt possibly have enough points in his back pocket right now? If we were to call the race, if a rainstorm would move in, would that be enough to get that? Depends. Guard your manhood. 00 Toyota Supra of Nick Hunt into the championship 8. Long way to find out. We're just speculating as we go along, so just follow along as we do. Right there with the timing scoring. Todd Craig making a pass for position on track. Justin Gann looking like he's struggling a little bit with this long run pace. Top 7 drivers on the track have not come to pit road yet. First driver on fresher tires, or at least with a little bit more fuel. That's going to be the 5 of Chad Osborne, sitting back in the 8th position. 17 of Tommy Haynes also running in 9th. He was on to pit road back on lap number 7. Casey Duncan, the 11 machine, he was back on lap number 8. So they're going to have a little bit more fuel, but is it worth the risk to give up that much time late in the run on the old tires compared to the new tires that the front of the field is going to be needing and have when we begin that round of green flag pit stops. Long ways to go for that one. I think we've got at least another 15 laps before we're going to be even remotely truly thinking of these green flag pit stops. But for the time being, the battle on track is at the front, but it is for second and third. Justin Gann still dealing with Todd Cray. Let's jump back a little bit through the field, a little bit back through the pack. How about we take a look at that Mobile 1, number 5 of Chad Osborne. He's trying to chase down the 42 of David Elliott, the 14 of Jason Stewart, tucked in line just in front of him. Stewart came into tonight's race. That's the man in the cutoff point. He came into tonight's race as the last driver inside of the top 8. With Weinrich, Gann, Craig, Rominger all running well. David Elliott right there behind Jason Stewart. So everybody really mixed up right here along with each other inside of this top 10. So big time chase implications if something goes wrong. And this is what it's going to make, or why it's going to make, I should say, rather. Darren Clement has got a huge uphill battle on his hands from this point out. He's 4 laps down already here tonight, running in the 13th position. He needs to have a top 10. If he can walk away with the top 10, I think that's going to be enough points to get him on and into that championship 8. There again, that's just mere speculation. We're trying to find the live timing to get that up there so we can follow along with that and keep you race fans informed, not just around the world, but at the track. Sold out, packed house once again here in cutoff week for Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series. Elliott keeps it to the top of the track, and he's going to let 2 drivers go on by. He's going to let the 5 of Chad Osborne go right on around the 17. Bootlegger-sponsored machine of Tommy Haynes looking to the inside as well. And it looks like Elliott not really going to put up a fight in that A-Shock 42. Going to take a look back through the field just a little bit further. Why don't we take a look and focus in on this battle for the 9th position on track. Tommy Haynes, David Elliott mixing it up 8th and 9th on the speedway. Gary May just about 1 second back from them. So the gaps are beginning to develop. The gaps are beginning to take place throughout this field. And now with Darren Clement out there on the track, Stephen Ayers Jr. brings his machine down to pit road for service and tires, as well as some damage control. He's going to be down there for just a handful of minutes, I would assume. And Darren Clement already picking up one more spot. He's going to move to 12th. Still a mighty big anthill to overcome. Can Clement somehow scratch, fight, and claw his way into that championship 8? Back to the front, though. The battle just has not gone away. Justin Gann, Todd Cray, all over each other at the front. And well, you want to know what it's like to drive one of these Xfinity cars? What do you say we jump on board with the man hot on the trail of Justin Gann? The 22 of Todd Cray ducks to the bottom of the racetrack, looks for an inside lane, not going to have it through the dog leg back into turn number 3. Look how close he could probably bump him right there if he really wanted to roll that center. Playing a little nice as we've got a long way to go here tonight. Lap number 32 coming on board this time around. Oh, you could hear him have to get out of the gas and look at Gann step away. Pheonix, definitely one of those tricky little tracks. You can see, we'll watch him the one more lap right here. Coming out of turn number 1, the line, the natural line wants you to go out near the wall, but you got to be careful about carrying it out there too far and getting back on the gas a little too early. See, right here, that natural line just comes up, and if you don't hit it right, you're going to have to jump back out of the gas, and you'll give up a little bit of time, a little bit of speed. Cray able to recover well and still be hot on the trail. "33 laps into tonight's race, Josh Weinrich stepping it out to a 8/10 of a second advantage. The 84 machine has run well all night here. We had two really quick cautions in succession, really, and ever since then we have been clean and green. 84 fired off a little bit slow on the restart, was able to track down just again, make the pass and take that top spot away, since he's been slowly but surely building that advantage and leaving Cray and Gann to fight amongst themselves for second and third. Big gap back from this two-car battle to Mike Rominger. He's 2.5 seconds back, sitting in fourth place. Rounding out your top five, another 2 seconds back from Rominger is Jason Stewart, and that's where you really start to see those gaps begin to develop. Got a tight little battle going on back here, 7th and 8th on the speedway. Chad Osborne, Tommy Haynes battling for 7th and 8th. 9th and 10th behind him, David Elliott and Gary May going at it. "15 drivers took to the starting grid here tonight at Pheonix Raceway for the Rattlesnake 170. We are down to just 13 drivers still on track. Stephen Ayers Jr. is down on pit road, beating and banging. Saul's on away, trying to massage whatever he can into place. He's got a little bit more damage to fix down there on that 62 Ford Mustang. So Ayers Jr. going to lose some laps, but he may pick up a handful of positions in the point standings by just trying to gut it on out. Darren Clement, first driver off of the lead lap, sitting in the 12th position. And, you know, we've said earlier in the season, I've said it in past seasons, I'll probably say it multiple seasons in the future. If you want to have trouble, you definitely want to have it early at any race, at any track that you go to. But 4 laps, that's going to be, I've said it multiple times, that's going to be a tall task. I all but doubt Clement's going to be able to gain very much more. He's going to need help with trouble out of other drivers. He's going to need some other drivers' days to be ruined, really. Tough break here for Clement. We'll continue to watch the point standings and see if he is barely in or just barely out. It's going to be too close to call until the end of it, so we won't continue to speculate on that. But let's go back to one of our closest battles on track. Is Chad Osborne. Well, we'll just stay right here. This is one of your closest battles. Chad Osborne, Gary May, David Elliott in the Mountain Dew 10 machine begins to close in. May quietly, kind of stealth-like, making his way up through the field. Started right near the tail end of the starting grid. Now sits inside the top 10, running in that 9th position, up 5 spots from where he started tonight's race. May heading in the right direction, but he needs a little bit more pace out of that 10. Back at the front, battle for second and third. Todd Cray has eventually taken it away from Justin Gann, who's now going to drop to the 3rd position. Both of these drivers have quite a bit of gap back to the 4th place runner. Mike Rominger not in your screen just yet as we continue green flag racing after 2 quick cautions here tonight. We've only had 2 race leaders, 1 lead change on the night, 2 caution flags so far here from Pheonix Raceway and Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series. That's right, it's cutoff time. Race number 14 live on track here tonight from Pheonix Raceway. It's the final race before we set the championship 8. We will have 8 drivers head to Homestead Miami Speedway to fight things out for the championship. Hardware green flag pit stops underway. Gary May and David Elliott to pit road. What will the strategy be for the drivers at the front of this field? three manufacturers represented at the front of this field. The Supra leads the Camaro, followed by the Fast Ford of Justin Gann. Who's going to look to gain an advantage here? If you're Weinrich, you got to be mindful of your rear view mirror. You got to watch for them drivers to duck off and try to force you to run one extra lap, and you got to catch it in time to be able to make it just a 1 lap difference on the fuel and tires. More so the tires, that's where the time's going to be at. As it looks like Gary May, quick stop here tonight. Looks like he just went ahead and got fuel on pit road for a very short time. David Elliott with a 4-tire stop. He comes back out on the track, back in the 11th position. 1 lap down. Gary May, 1 lap down as well, taking it looks like just right sides only. 14 of Jason Stewart going to peel off the track and come to pit road this time around. Closest battle, only battle. Let's go to it right here. Battle for a spot inside the top 5. Oh, and maybe that's why Gary May has to come back down pit road. Popped with a penalty. Gary May back on pit road. The Gardner Manhood Dub Pins 00 Toyota Supra of Nick Hunt running well here tonight, defending a spot inside the top 5. Hunt runs in that final spot inside the top 5 as we cross the line this time around to begin lap number 48 out of the 170 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. You're watching Rattlesnake 170. How much longer will your top 5 stay out? Tommy Haynes was last to pit road on lap number 7 under one of our first cautions of the evening. So he's got a little bit more fuel. He can stretch this thing out a little bit more, and he's going to take that 5th spot away from Nick Hunt. Hunt going to fall back to 6th. But how much further would Weinrich, Craig, Gannon, Rominger stretch the fuel? There you can see the Mountain Dew 10 of Gary May coming back off of pit road. May listed multiple laps down, now 4 laps down to be exact, after catching a pit road penalty. He had to come back down pit road. Survey, it looks like a 30-second stop in the box penalty. And he went ahead and said, all the heck with it, and he got 4 tires while he was there as well. May, he's going to have to overcome as well. But I tell you what that does do. That puts Darren Clement in a little bit better of a situation. Now he is 4 laps down along with Gary May. He may be able to snatch a spot here and inch his way closer to that top 10 that we believe that's all he needs to finish in, is the top 10. As Justin Gann, Nick Hunt, and Casey Duncan on the pit road this time around. That's going to leave your top 3 drivers out there on the track yet to come to pit road. Josh Weinrich, Todd Cray, and Mike Rominger says, I've had enough. 29 comes to pit road. Not a lot of battles to speak of, but we'll go up here to this one because Todd Cray beginning to walk down Weinrich. Oh, and there he goes. Weinrich trying to get to pit road. Can he get it slowed down? No lockups out of him. No lockups out of Cray. A little bit of a wiggle coming onto pit road at pit speed. Top spot going to change hands for a handful of laps, I would say, at least. And there it is right here. Tommy Haynes going to make it official. That's going to be our second lead change of the night. 3 different race leaders so far. 2 caution flags, 53 laps in to tonight's 170 laps scheduled in the official race distance. Will we see a green-white checkered? We've seen one green-white checkered so far this week. Will we see another? Last night's race, we've seen multiple caution flags right at the tail end of green flag pit stops. Right now, the only driver that would benefit from that looks to be like it would possibly be David Elliott, maybe even Darren Clement. Clement might be able to get one of his laps back, although he is still yet to hit pit road. He's got to hit pit road for another pit stop for his 4 tires in fuel, so Clement may very well lose a 5th lap. And it's just getting tougher and tougher from this point out. Less than 120 laps remaining in tonight's race here from Pheonix Raceway. You're watching race number 14 here in Season 4 for Swift MotorSports Butt Kicker Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series. If you haven't already, race fans, you know what I'm about to say. No, not that one. It is tax season. Go check out the boys over there at Silverback Tax Solutions. They can hook you on up, let you, or help you find your way through all the technical legal jargon that is taxes, and trying to find the best refund for you out there. Check them out. Tell them Dave sent you. Silverback Tax Solutions. Tommy Haynes extends this run. We know he came to pit road back on lap number 7, so he has at least 7 laps more fuel than the rest of the field. And he is right at that threshold of those 7 laps, so look for him to be heading to pit road anytime, and here it is right now. He's going to go ahead, field to pit road this time around. And that should all but put the field back in the hands of this man. Not too fast, because here comes Justin Gann. Gann looking to take that top spot from Weinrich. Weinrich put the fastest lap on the track last time around under race conditions. And he's going to keep that 30 behind him. Back to the point once again. That's going to be our 3rd lead change of the night now amongst the same amount of drivers. Weinrich back to the point. Gann close behind. Todd Cray now looking to the inside of that 30 machine. He's looking to take that 2nd spot away. He's got 2 lap pressure tires. The pit in fuel strategy, the tire in fuel strategy, the same right now for both Weinrich as well as Todd Cray. So Cray's trying to keep himself on pace and on track with what Weinrich has got going on out on the track. And here comes Todd Cray down to the bottom through the dog leg. He'll take that 2nd spot away from Gann. Your top 3 drivers all but gone from the field. 6.3 seconds back to 4th place runner Jason Stewart. Mike Rominger right here, very close, closing in the 29 machine, looking to close in on Jason Stewart and take that 4th spot away. How about the run that Stewart's having? He needed a solid run here tonight. Came in as the last driver inside of your top 8, heading to Homestead for a championship shot. And running inside of the top 5 right now, Stewart looks like he'll be moving on. David Elliott and Nick Hunt, they're going at it back for 6th and 7th on the racetrack. We'll go back and take a little look-see at that battle here in just one brief second. Mike Rominger making the pass on the inside, and we're seeing that inside lane really be dominant here tonight at Pheonix Raceway. We've seen it dominant on Monday night with the Ayers iRacing ARCA Series. But we've seen that higher line, that mid to high line, really work for the trucks last night. The Performance Truck Series putting on quite a show right here at Pheonix Raceway. And the Cazadores 160. Taking a look around the track through the timing and scoring, trying to see what we can see, trying to see if we can't find anything out there. And how about this one right here? Josh Weinrich, he's going to have company. Todd Cray has stepped away from Justin Gann. He has left Gann behind. Again, not even in the background of the picture any longer as Todd Cray begins to slowly stalk his prey at the front. Weinrich fast, but Cray fast as well. There you can see Justin Gann giving up 15 car lengths, already 1.5 seconds back from Weinrich and Cray as your top two continue to battle. Here, crossing the line, will begin lap 64 out of the 170 scheduled here in tonight's official race distance. You're watching the Rattlesnake 170. Battle at the very front, battle near the tail end of the field. Casey Duncan, Tommy Haynes going at it, 9th and 10th on the racetrack. Just about 0.2 of a second separating Tommy Haynes from Casey Duncan. Keep in mind, Haynes came to pit road much later than the rest of the field, so he's got much fresher tires, and he is using it to his advantage. Last time around, he was just about 0.2 faster than your race leader, but he is an awful long ways back, upwards of 20 seconds back. Haynes got a lot of time to gain, a lot of ground. Will it be enough keeping that same pit cycle? As now it looks like Darren Clement, he's going to go ahead and come to pit road, 7 laps down, running in the 12th position. Tough night, tough break for that 32 Busch sponsored Camaro, and it looks like the crew chiefs going ahead, telling them to pull it behind the wall. The night's going to end early here from Pheonix Raceway for that 32 of Darren Clement. And we'll wait until post-race to try to figure things out with the point standings and who's in, who's out. We know right now with the way they run at the front of this field, Josh Weinrich, Todd Cray, Justin Gann, Mike Rominger all came into tonight's race in the top 4 positions. And it looks like they're all but gonna be into that championship 8, running in the top 4 positions here tonight in the Rattlesnake 170. The cream rising to the top. Five out of your 6 previous race winners in the field here tonight. 4 of them inside of your top 5. David Elliott right back there in the 7th position. Looks like producers forgetting to highlight that 42 and that burnt orange color, signifying his race win this season. He's joined the likes of Josh Weinrich, Todd Cray, Justin Gann, who all have been to victory lane. Ron Shute. How about Ron Shute missing a handful of races? Ron not with us here tonight from Pheonix Raceway either. Opened up season number 4 with the race win. We won't forget about that. Ron, can't wait to see you back on the track. Still trying to carve his way up through the field is Tommy Haynes making a pass on Chad Osborne, but we got to head right to the front. We got a big battle for the race lead. Drivers making their way down the back stretch into turn number 3, or actually into turn number 1. Back across the line will begin lap number 71 this time around. Weinrich and Cray going at it. Cray at the bottom, hounding Weinrich. Can Weinrich somehow shake him and keep that top spot? We'll take a look off of the tail end over the rear deck lid here. Cray looking, peeking, trying to find a way around, but just cannot find a way around. I don't want to say it looks like he's faster. It looks like these drivers are fairly evenly matched. Just not able to really do anything with some of the runs that he's getting. Cray just kind of stuck right now in the 2nd position. He's going to have to just deal with it and bear the brunt of some of that dirty air for a little while. Wonder if that's going to allow him to be a little bit easier on the tires, maybe possibly force Weinrich to run a little bit harder and burn some of those tires up. We talked about him needing to carve his way through the field. Tommy Haynes now up to 7th. He's got the position away from Chad Osborne. He's got another spot away from David Elliott. So Haynes definitely on the move to the front, but how far can he make his way back up through the field? Much older tires, as we said, he was 20 seconds down. And you can see now, I mean, he's made up some time. Or actually, it looks like he's actually given up 1 second, actually. The 17 giving up 1 second. He was 23, somewhere right around 23 and a half seconds back from your race leader. And it looks like he has actually dropped about a half to 1 second margin over the course of this green flag run so far. Weinrich Gray able to stretch that first initial green flag run 52 laps. Keep in mind, though, there were 2 caution flag periods during that time, so drivers able to stretch the fuel a little bit further than normal. When will they have to come to pit road? I would say probably in the next 10 laps, we should see them to pit road right around lap number, I would say 85 is when we should see most of the drivers braking for pit road. Tommy Haynes, he's going to be able to stay out there for, it's going to be about lap, I would say, about 92. Whoa, Weinrich, big trouble. Oh my God. How did he not completely wad that thing up? Wow. It does look like there is a little bit of front end damage on that left front. A little bit of damage to Weinrich's front end. That's going to play right into the hands of Todd Gray. Gray going to stay stalking the prairie for the time being, trying to force another error. Weinrich doesn't look to struggle through that corner this time around. Everything looks in decent shape. I mean, like you can see right there, there has been definitely some contact with that left front. The hood crinkled up just a little bit. Splitter beat in at the bottom. Closing in on the halfway point here tonight from Pheonix Raceway. We are just over the 100 lap remaining mark in tonight's Rattlesnake 170 right here from Pheonix Raceway. Not a whole lot of battles to speak of. Drivers have those gaps developed. Drivers have their spots pretty much figured out from this point on. Drivers looking to just come home with a solid finish here. And Todd Gray looks to take that top spot away. He is not letting off. Going to look to the high side now. Look to lay the power down. Keep that 84 of Weinrich pinned down to the bottom of the racetrack. No, look for a crossover. Not going to pull the move down the front stretch back into turn 1. Gray follows Weinrich again. Side-by-side battle still ranging on for your race lead. Josh Weinrich outside of that 84 Toyota Supra. The Chevy Camaro of Todd Gray down at the bottom of the racetrack. The Infinite Hero Pets for Paradise machine has been fast all year long. We've got a 3-win driver battling a 4-win driver with another 3-win driver right behind him. And did we see Justin Gann play this thing a little bit safe? We watched as Todd Gray made his way by Gann relatively easy, almost as if Gann may have been saving a little bit of something for later. And here we are, about 15 laps later, and Justin Gann reeling your top 2 drivers back in as your race leaders begin to hit lap traffic. Here we go. Side by side back down into turn number 3. The 22 on the inside just, oh my gosh, just about a foot or 2 off of each other. They'll make their way off of turn number 3 back down the front stretch Cray not able to quite get there just yet as they close in on the 42 of David Elliott. Elliott listed as the last driver on the lead lap in that 11. And that 42 machine, I apologize, Casey Duncan up in the 11 machine running in 9th. And you can see him. He's right there. He's in the windshield. Weinrich, Cray, again, they can all see these drivers trying to keep themselves on the lead lap, trying to avoid going one lap down. David Elliott now going to fall one lap down back in the 10th position. So we've got drivers one lap down inside of your top 10. Weinrich, Cray, and Gann continue to outpace and outclass the field here tonight in the final cutoff race of season number 4 for Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series. Top 3 drivers on track continue to run 1, 2, 3 all over each other. Todd Cray was able to catch him, hasn't been able to do anything with him. But then the back markers coming into play, the lap traffic coming into play, and now Justin Gann and that Ayers Eye Racing Paints RB Custom Rigs sponsored number 30 Fast Ford Mustang. He's found his way back up to the top 2. These 3 will try to waltz away from the field, or continue, I should say, to waltz away from the field. 10-second advantage over Mike Rominger is Josh Weinrich. These top 3 all but gone. I don't know how it gets much better than this. Battle for the top spot in the final cutoff race amongst your winningest drivers. Man, can you imagine if this is how it all ends next week at Homestead Miami Speedway? What if we've got a 4th, maybe even 5th car involved in this, and they're all those championship contenders? Gosh, that's close. Leaning on each other, but no contact being made. The 84 of Josh Weinrich right in front of Todd Cray. Very close through turn number 3. Back out through turn 1, I apologize. Back across the start and finish line. We'll begin lap number 90 out of the 170 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. We are past that halfway point. What do you say we go ahead and do some house cleaning? 15 drivers to the starting grid here tonight. We have still got 11 out there on the track with just 9 left on the lead lap. And, well, let's run down the drivers at the front of the field. In the top spot for now, the 84 of Josh Weinrich under fire in his Toyota Supra. Weinrich has led the most laps here tonight so far. Will he be able to lead the field to the green flag pit cycle? There's your answer. Justin Gann to pit road. Jason Stewart as well as Casey Duncan all to pit road. This time by Weinrich. Keeps that top spot. Todd Cray right behind him, hot on the trail. Cray has been mixing it up, heating up that tail end, heating up that rear bumper lap after lap after lap. Cray looks to take the top spot for the first time here tonight. We'll keep it right here. These two have been going side by side, lap after lap, and Weinrich able to keep the top spot for the time being. Now running in that 3rd position, making his way to pit road, the 29 of Mike Rominger. Tommy Haynes, he's making his way back through the field. It looks like he will reclaim the 3rd position as Rominger is on pit road. So Haynes, with a little bit of off-game strategy, looking to capitalize on the field and have a solid run tonight. That's some of your driver highlights and spotlights here tonight from Pheonix Raceway. up 7 positions right now, but on pit road is that's number 5 Mobile One Toyota Supra Chad Osborne down on the pit road for service and tires. He's going to pull to his box. And Craig has done it. He has finally taken that top spot away from Josh Weinrich. Let's go back to the front as Craig starts to step away. Fourth lead change. Excuse me. 4 lead changes, 4 race leaders, 2 cautions, 1 round of green flag pit stops. We're in the mix of our second round of green pit stops right here, right now. Todd Cray grabs that top spot before his second green flag pit stop. Josh Weinrich, dominating car. Now back into second. Tommy Haynes on a different strategy, different fuel game for that 17 machine. The bootlegger sponsored Camaro back running in third. 20 seconds back, so he's made up some time now, but he's only been able to make up about 4.5 seconds. In the grand scheme of things, 4.5 seconds sounds like a lot over the course of a run, but when you're only going to have 1 more pit stop after this, drivers are not going to be able to make it to the end from here on out. When you only got the course of 1 and I would say 1 and about a half runs, you got to make up more time than that. And the stopwatch going the wrong direction right now for Haynes. You've seen it climb back over the 21-second mark, flirting, stuttering, borderline that 21-second mark. And there it is again. Tommy Haynes will make up some ground. He should cycle back to the race lead if he chooses to stay out a handful of laps once again. But how about that 22 of Todd Cray, man? He was all over Weinrich lap after lap. They mixed things up side by side, just inches away from each other at times. And Cray was able to keep his elbows up and his head down and grab that top spot away. And he has since opened it up to almost a 1-second advantage over that 84, who has been, as we said moments ago, the dominant car on track tonight. Now Cray and Weinrich both to pit road. Ooh, Weinrich looked a little bit quick. We'll jump back, take a look at look at Tommy Haynes as Nick Hunt. Ooh, boy. Nick Hunt getting himself up and around that 17 machine, and that should all but put Hunt back onto the lead lap here, as Tommy Haynes will regain the race control. He will regain the race lead. That's going to be our 5th lead change of the night. Really trying to watch where Justin Gann comes out this time around. Weinrich and Cray stayed on track a little bit longer than what they did the previous pit stop, and it looks like Justin Gann gonna leapfrog both of those drivers. He's gonna grab the 2nd spot away, and he's gonna have himself about a 6-second advantage. Wow. What a flip-flop. What a turn of events right here. Justin Gann using the undercut to his advantage right here at Pheonix Raceway in the Rattlesnake 170. We are just past the 100 lap threshold. Less than 70 to go here tonight from Pheonix. Do want to take a moment to thank each and every one of the sponsors out there here with Swift Motorsports all year long, all season long. Oh, job well done. Hats off to each and every one of you across all 4 series. Title sponsor BUTTKICKER on board in season 4. We look forward to working with BUTTKICKER in the future as well. How about the Airs High Racing Paints guys over there sponsoring the ARCA series, the Performance Motorsports Truck Series guys sponsoring the Truck Series. And how about Silverback Tax Solutions stepping up this year, grabbing the Xfinity sponsor, and Hyperdrive sponsoring the Cup Series. Once again, hats off to each and every one of you individual series sponsors, as well as to the title sponsor, Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. There's that 10 of Gary May, multiple laps down here. May listed 3 laps down, as he's going to grab one of his laps back, and Tommy Haynes going to peel for pit road this time around. For all intents and purposes, that's going to do it for the green flag pit stops, as Justin Gann going to go back to the point now. He's going to grab that top spot back again, since I believe it was about lap number 20, lap number 22, somewhere in that range is when he gave up that top spot and has been unable to get back to the point. But right now he enjoys a 2.5 second advantage over Todd Cray. Josh Weinrich 1.2 back from Cray. Mike Rominger, big gap back from Weinrich to Rominger, almost a 10-second deficit from your top 3 drivers back to Rominger. Jason Stewart 2 seconds back from him. Nick Hunt rounds out your top 6. Chad Osborne listed as the first driver, 1 lap down to that Mobile 1 Toyota Supra. Sitting in 7th, David Elliott in the 42 back in 8th, 9th place as they run the 17 of Tommy Haynes and Gary May rounds out your top 10. Watch that timing and scoring, because the deficit is shrinking. The advantage built by Gann with the undercut is starting to get cut in half, already down now to under 1.5 second advantage for Gann, as Cray continues to eat into that race lead, close off of turn number 3 there. Gann almost into that outside wall. Josh Weinrich right here dealing with the 42 of David Elliott, maybe pulling him back just a little bit, getting a little bit of a sniff of the draft. Is that 42 trying to run down Chad Osborne for position in front of him? How about the job well done by Nick Hunt? He had to have a solid night here tonight. He had to walk away with a good points day in his back pocket. Sitting in 6th right now. Will that be enough to get that double O? Depends Gardner Manhood Toyota Supra up into the championship 8. We'll know here in the course of about another 61 or so laps. And well, it looks like, Jess, I said it last time on air. I thought it was going to be Weinrich and Cray as some of the drivers that you're going to have to watch out for at Homestead for the championship. And it does indeed look like Justin Gann, Todd Cray, Josh Weinrich all going to make their way to Homestead with a shot for the championship. Mike Rominger sitting in 4th. He will continue on into that championship 8, the Great 8, to battle for the championship at Homestead. Cloudy little future, though, for the 14 of Jason Stewart. 00 of Nick Hunt also still up in the air on whether or not he's going to make it into that championship 8. Chad Osborne came into tonight's race 12 points back from the cutoff line. He's running in 7th. So he's right there at the cusp of it. Tommy Haynes, last driver inside of the top 8 coming into tonight's race. He's sitting in 8th. I mean, David Elliott also right there. He's could possibly fall a handful of positions inside of that top 8, but I do believe running inside of the top 10 now, David Elliott will indeed make it to the top 8. And it looks like Nick Hunt slow on track here for a minute. Nick Hunt a little bit slow on the track. Gotta wonder what's going on inside of that 00. Is he trying to stretch a little bit of fuel here? Is Gary May gonna just absolutely tear into that race lead? And as we watched and talked about, the driver looking to find a way into the championship 8. Driver already in, already at the point once Todd Cray gets by Justin Gann last time around on the track, and he'll take that top spot back and give us our 7th lead change of the night. The 7th lead change of the night, 4 different race leaders. We had 2 quick cautions tonight, one coming out on lap number 1, last caution coming out on lap number 8. So these drivers have been green flag racing for over 100 laps. That is enough to give them some love and appreciation and show them that you do enjoy the racing action they put out week in, week out. So if you haven't already, race fans, you know it. Join that push to 3,000. Show these drivers some love and drop them that thumbs up. Click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side to get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by, whether you're just sliding through to say hey, or you are one of the dedicated fans, friends, or family, like our good buddy Jess out there in the chat. She comes in week out supporting Todd Cray running at the front of the field. Or maybe if you're one of the sponsors coming to check out the products, maybe you're a sponsor looking for somewhere to bring your products. We do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Without you, there would be no us. So once again, give yourselves a pat on the back, give yourselves a little bit of a love hug, and enjoy the show here. We've got right about 50 laps to go. And that's going to be right at about a fuel run. So drivers are not going to be able to make it to the end of this thing. They are going to have to come back. Whoa, and Justin Gann into the outside wall. Did you catch a glimpse of that? Right there in the background, we seen the 30 rub the outside wall. Wasn't too bad. Paint still on the right side of the car. So the contact with the outside wall wasn't significant enough to damage any of the wrap job on that 30 RB Custom Rigs Ayers High Racing Paints Ford Mustang. Josh Weinrich able to close in just a little. And man, you know what? I've been sitting, not to sound like Kid Rock or anything, I've been sitting here trying to ask myself who the real dominant driver has been this season, and I don't have an answer. I mean, sure, Weinrich in that 84 and his Toyota Super Crew, they have 4 race wins to their name this season. But Justin Gann, Todd Cray, they've been to victory lane 3 times apiece as well. We've seen dominating performances out of all 3 of those drivers. We've seen them dominate races and lose them towards the end. We've seen them sit on pole positions here this season. We've seen them dominate top 5 runs, dominate top 10 runs. And that's what it's all about. Consistency. Continuing to get a little more out of the car. Continuing to make good out of bad situations and not make a bad situation worse. Your top 3 drivers on track have been lights out all season long. I think these are going to be the 3 drivers that we're going to see at the front of the field next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're a fan or a friend, family member of one of these other 8 drivers that are going to have a shot at it, if they're on track, they have got a shot. Just like tonight, it is not over with. We could have ourselves a late race caution here, and that could provide Tommy Haynes, maybe even Chad Osborne, with an opportunity to get themselves back onto the lead lap. They could then work their way through the field and into victory lane. You don't know what's going to happen until it happens. It ain't over till it's over. That's why we got to race all 170 laps out of the 170 scheduled in tonight's official race distance. But I mean, it's like the old saying, any given Sunday in football, well, any given race day, anything can happen and anybody can walk away with a race win. If you made it into the top 8, you deserve to be there and you're there for a reason. But from a statistical standpoint, We've got to run with the top 3 drivers running on track right here, right now. Todd Cray, Justin Gann, Josh Weinrich. They have been, statistically speaking, your front-running drivers more so than any other cars in the field. So again, I look forward to watching Cray, Gann, and Weinrich battle it out next week at Homestead. And I want to see Nick Hunt get in. You know, enough about these drivers that we know are making it into that championship 8. Let's go back here to that 00 Depends car, Jermaine Hood, Toyota Supra of Nick Hunt. Qualified in the 6th position. Running in the 6th position. Has had a solid run here tonight. Nice and clean. Not a dent on his machine. He needs to have a solid run tonight, and he is having that solid run. He came into tonight's race sitting just 4 points out of that championship 8, and I believe to steal a line from Harry Hall on Days of Thunder, I believe it in my heart that Nick Hunt will make it into the championship 8. He's going to be the dark horse, I think, that we're also going to have to watch out for come Homestead next week. He's just got to make it into the show first. And with lap 127 on the board, Todd Cray beginning to close in on 6th place runner right here. And how discouraging or disheartening could that be? If you're on the inside of that 00 of Nick Hunt, if you're the driver inside the office, and speaking of inside the office, we'll go back, we'll take a look off of the tail end right here real quick before we go on board and show you. If you're this man right here, just inside of that A pillar, just on the other side, you can see him in that Stroker Aces sponsored helmet. What's that do to a driver's mentality when you're running this hard, trying to get everything you can, and look out the window net? There's your race leader, Todd Cray, dropping it to the bottom through the dog leg and putting you a lap down, and you're in 6th. That has got to be a little bit of a hard pill to swallow. A little bit rough go at it, but it can't discourage you too much. You got to keep your head in the game. And right now, keeping his head in the game after contact with the outside wall, Justin Gann continues to run in 2nd, but he is continuing to lose a little bit of ground, lose a little bit of time. Now just over a 2-second deficit from Cray back to Gann. Weinrich losing a little bit of pace as well. He's 1.5 seconds back from Gann. Then a big, huge gap back to Mike Rominger. Jason Stewart going to be next on the list for Todd Cray. And if we go to Cray, we'll be able to see just off in the distance that 14 of Stewart. We'll jump with one of our onboard gyro cameras here from Pheonix Raceway. And you can see and feel a little bit of the banking. Very flat corner here. Turn number 3, very flat corner coming off onto what used to be the front stretch, heading down into turn number 1 now. You'll catch a little bit of the banking down here into turn 1 there. You can see slight little bit of banking here. Off of turn 1 exit. Gonna cross the line. Lap 132 on the board as we cross through the dog leg and back to turn 3. That's a lap with race leader Todd Cray. Justin Gann to pit road. Nick Hunt as well as Tommy Haynes. All 3 of those drivers going to head to pit road this time around for what will be their final stop of the night. Everybody going to be able to make it from here on out. They were able to make it on fuel back at lap 125. So some of these drivers just patting their pocket a little bit, building in just in case we see one of those late race cautions, one of those green-white checkered finishes. They will have enough fuel on board. Mike Rominger and Josh Weinrich also to pit road, and that's going to leave just Todd Cray and Jason Stewart out there on the track. And with Stewart this far behind, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to cycle back to the race lead. We've seen him extend the run. We've seen him fuel cycle after fuel cycle be able to run a little bit longer and a little bit further. Stewart going to run a little bit further this time as well. But will he be able to take that top spot away? That's what I'm really wondering here. He was able to bypass Justin Gann, able to bypass Josh Weinrich. Does he have enough time to get up and around Todd Cray? And it looks like he's going to be able to, as Cray still making his way down pit road. Just now into the box. Left sides go up. Left side's off. Right side's on, I mean. Down and away. Driver get the left side up. And down and away. They drop the jack. Todd Cray makes his way back onto the racetrack, but he has given up that top spot to Jason Stewart, and Justin Gann gonna leapfrog the field once again and grab what will be the top spot once this 14 of Jason Stewart comes to pit road for his final stop of the night. Our third round of green flag pit stops are coming to a close as the 14 of Jason Stewart heads to pit road for his final time. We'll take a look at Justin Gann just making his way off of turn number 3 down the front stretch. Once again down into turn number 1. Gann with a 3-second advantage over Todd Cray. And here you go. Race fans, we are under 40 laps to go. We are right at about 30 laps to go this time around. It'll be 33 laps, I apologize, left in tonight's race. Is 3 seconds a big enough gap to keep Justin Gann in a fighting position for the checkered flag come the end of tonight's race? The Ayers iRacing Paints RB Custom Rigs 30 machine looking fast once again. The fast forward Mustang took the top spot in qualifying. Justin Gann was your pole sitter, led the first about 20 laps or so, then gave up the race lead and has since had to depend on green flag pit cycles to work his way, to work his strategy, tire and fuel strategy to his advantage and grab the top spot. Back during our last green flag pit stop, now in this green flag pit stop, Gann back to the point, but already in 3 laps he's given up right at about 2 seconds. So a 3-lap difference on the tires really showing its ugly head right now. Can Gann somehow keep Cray behind him? I don't know if he's going to be able to. There's Josh Weinrich making his way around Jason Stewart. Stewart charging hard to get himself back on the lead lap, running in that 5th position. Tommy Haynes, Nick Hunt, I believe those two drivers going at it. What do you say we go back, check this little bit of a battle going on? There's that double O going to grab the spot away from Tommy Haynes. The 17 going to fall back to the 7th position now. Hunt back to 6th. Back running right where he qualified. Back having a very solid night here tonight. He is running 1 lap down, but a very solid night for the driver inside of that double O dub pins. Guard your manhood, Toyota Supra. And how about the statement by these top 4 drivers in your point standings? By the top 4 drivers in that championship 8 heading into next week. Running 1, 2, 3, 4 on track here tonight for pretty much all of the race. Really putting the field on notice that it's not by coincidence. This is the designed thing, and we are here. And Todd Cray gonna get that top spot from Justin Gann. We watched just moments ago as the Infinite Hero Pence for Paradise 22 machine was able to grab that top spot back away from Justin Gann, and Gann gonna fall back to second. That's gonna be our 10th different lead change of the night. Still only 4 race leaders here in the Rattlesnake 170. "144 laps into tonight's 170 lap event right here from Pheonix Raceway. Live on the Turn 3 Racing Network, you're watching Swift Motorsports Butt Kicker Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series. Todd Cray leads Justin Gann, Josh Weinrich, Mike Rominger, and Jason Stewart round out your top 5. Long green flag runs have broken up this field, have given us quite a bit of gaps out there throughout the entire field. 3 cycles of green flag pit stops to be exact, as we are now down to just 25 laps remaining here in the final cutoff race of season number 4. We will know what the Championship 8 looks like, what Grade 8 are going to fight it out for that championship trophy next Wednesday night, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network down at Homestead Miami Speedway. Mark it down on your calendars, or better yet, you know what you can do. You can get a fancy little notification with that subscribe button. Smash the bell. You don't even have to write it down. We'll keep it digital for you, let you know anytime we go live. Championship week coming at you next week right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, your home for Swift. Last bit of house cleaning here tonight. 15 drivers took to the starting grid. We are now down to just 9 drivers left out there on the track, with only 4 drivers left on the lead lap. But how long will we still have those 4 drivers on the lead lap? Mike Rominger there, you can see the 29 machine dangerously close to falling off of the lead lap. And I can't remember when the last time we had just your podium drivers on the lead lap. Amazing run, amazing pace out of all the drivers at the front of this field. Really, Todd Cray, Justin Gann, and Josh Weinrich, they have been just absolutely class of the field, lights out. Whether it was in happy hour qualifying or right here in race trim, these drivers have just been, they've just been better. They've just been faster. Able to get the car to turn through the center of the corner much better than their fellow competitors, and that's going to translate into a lot of straight line speed coming out of turn 3, going through the dog leg. Although the dog leg isn't really a straightaway, drivers should kind of try to box it off and make one straight line, as long of a line as they possibly can. And here you go, right here. Rominger not going to be much of a fight. Not going to put up much of a fight either. The 22 of Todd Cray going to go ahead and put the 4th place driver running inside that 29. Mike Rominger going to fall 1 lap down to be listed as the lucky dog here from Pheonix Raceway in the Rattlesnake 170. We're less than 20 to go. "18 laps standing between Todd Cray and his 4th race win on the year. Can he finish tonight's race off on a high note and keep Justin Gann back behind him? Josh Weinrich continuing to struggle here. 2.3 seconds back 2.8, I apologize, off of Justin Gann. So while we've only got your top 3 on the lead lap, there are big gaps between those 3 drivers. And it doesn't look like Todd Craig going to be able to get to putting Josh Weinrich 1 lap down unless Weinrich has some serious problems here at Pheonix. But I do believe we should see this thing stay caution-free to the end of tonight's race. No need for a green-white checkered. No need for a pesky late race. Caution. Looks like drivers content and ready to finish this thing on out tonight. 16 laps remain. 15 when we cross the line this time by. No battles to speak of, no battles to bring you, so we're going to go ahead and highlight some of your championship drivers. Why don't we start with the man at the front of this field here tonight, leading a handful of laps, coming on strong late in tonight's race here. The Rattlesnake 170 from Pheonix Raceway, Todd Cray leads the field. Driver running back in second after walking away with the pole position here tonight. Inside is Hare's Eye Racing Paints RB Custom Rigs number 30 Ford Mustang. Justin Gann sits in second. Leading the winning column this season, Josh Weinrich in the 84 looked to grab his 5th win on the year. Unfortunately, looks like he's going to fall short. He'll have to walk away from the racetrack pleased with just a podium tonight. Rounding out your top spots in the field, Weinrich runs third. Job well done by the 29 of Mike Rominger here tonight. He will move on into that championship 8, have a shot at the championship trophy next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. Rominger runs in 4th. How about rounding out your top 5 up 4 positions from Bunnell, Florida? He's got a short distance to go. Race at Homestead Miami Speedway. Is his 5th place run here tonight enough to keep his championship hopes alive? Stewart came into tonight's race last driver in that championship 8. Will he be able to keep his 14 Toyota Supra there? We'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. Driver that has gained the most positions here tonight. Why don't we check out and give this man a big shout out? Gary May inside that throwback Mountain Dew machine, gaining 5 spots here tonight. He is your biggest mover of the Rattlesnake 170. Gary May in the 10, moving through the field. That's going to do it for a little bit of late race driver highlights and spotlights. Everybody spread out through this 1 mile track here in Phoenix, Arizona. And just, I can't believe how the race played out. Very, very quick here tonight. We had a caution on lap number 1, then a second caution on lap number 8. We have been clean and green ever since, and we are now down to 10, less than 10, 9 laps to go. Todd Cray, relentless, man. Relentless speed, relentless pace. Putting David Elliott a second lap down. Driver running in the 8th position. In the 8th position now. 2 laps down. We'll do a Mike Jones moment for you for those of you who are familiar with it. 2 laps down. Elliott 2 laps down in 8th place. That's nuts, almost borderline psychotic. That is unbelievable. A lot of pace inside of that 22 machine. Cray absolutely dominating these late race runs, was able to set himself up with the strategy, trying to keep pace with Weinrich over the course of the first part of tonight's race. He was able to do so, and then he was able to grab the top spot, and he's been able to walk away with it. I mean, almost, well, it's not almost, it is a 3-second advantage. This time by, we'll see the hi, how are ya, high five from the flag stand. The boss man in the flag stand gonna give him the 5 to go this time by. And we'll go to some of the trackside cameras over the course of these final few laps here. Let you see some of the drivers out there running on the track. Everybody chasing after race leader Todd Cray. But I don't think anybody has anything that's going to be able to run him down. There you see Weinrich coming up on turn number 3 down the front stretch. Once again, Tommy Haynes, Nick Hunt tucked in line. Back behind them, Gary May sits in 9th, and Chad Osborne rounds out here in top 10. What a run for Todd Cray, man. I'm telling you, just absolutely lights out here. 3.5 second advantage now as he's going to cross the line with just 3 to go. You wonder what 3 seconds looks like? There it is. And 1, 2, 3. There it is. 3.3 second advantage for Todd Cray over Justin Gann. They'll make their way up a turn 4, and we will see the popsicle sticks on display this time by for race leader Todd Cray and that Infinite Hero Pence for Paradise sponsored Chevy Camaro at the front of the field. All 3 manufacturers represented in your top 3. The Camaro followed by a Ford, then a Supra. But Todd Cray, he's the best of them all here under the lights tonight from Pheonix Raceway. The Rattlesnake 170 will come to a close off the corner, crossing the line. White flag flies, final lap, 1 to go here from Pheonix Raceway. Todd Cray leads everybody by over 3.5 seconds. It's all but in the bag for Cray. A little bit of a Sunday drive for him to get back to victory lane now. And that's going to be all she wrote. Coming through turn 1 into the line for the final time. Checkered flag in hand. Todd Cray walks away with his 4th win of the season. And he sets himself up to have a little bit of momentum heading to Homestead Miami Speedway next week for the championship race. Man, job well done, Cray. Great pace out of him and his crew here tonight. Job done. Job well done both on track and on pit road. Puts Cray back to victory lane. And as we watch Cray come around to the start and finish line, he'll burn it down, give the fans in the stands a little bit of little bit more for their money, so to speak. Man, what a night, what a run. We're going to step away, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interview, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Back trackside at the conclusion of another great night here with Swift Motorsports for the Butt Kicker Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series. What do you say we jump and dive right on into it? What do you say we try to dial up the driver that was dominant here tonight for quite some time? Let's see if we can catch up and have a few words with the driver of that 84 Toyota Supra. Josh, it's Dave. You got me?
Yeah, got a copy, Dave.
Hey, man, how you feeling after, I don't want to say a disappointing end to tonight's race, but you were one of the dominating cars earlier in the race. How satisfied are you being able to walk away still with a podium?
I don't know. It was, kind of disappointing. But, Todd and I were racing hard there. It's just a product of tight racing. Pheonix is a pretty wide racetrack, but it certainly doesn't race very wide. So there's not a whole lot of room out there. We just kind of got that damage a little bit there, and car just got super, super tight. So after that, it was kind of all over. I was just kind of making laps, from there on out. So wasn't a whole lot of fun just limping around there. But third isn't too terrible for everything considered.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, you came into tonight's race, I don't want to say guaranteed at a chance to run for the championship at Homestead, but all but guaranteed. I feel comfortable enough saying, knowing that that's the only race left. You've got to beat 7 other drivers. Is there any driver? I'm going to put you on spot. Is there any one other driver that you are more concerned with than most?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, Todd and Justin. I think, Todd, Justin, and myself, we've kind of proven that we're probably the 3 best cars over the course of the entire schedule so far. So, I would say, in the 29 too. So I'd say probably, those 4 are the ones that you're going to, the mountain half races have been pretty good. Everyone's been pretty evenly matched. I would imagine, just like last few races, it's going to be some green flag pit stops, and just about who manages getting on and off pit road, and makes their tires last throughout the whole run. So I'd be pretty good. Same thing as kind of like Kansas last week. Haven't really raced Homestead too much, so looking forward to it. It's a fun racetrack, something different. So hopefully we can have a good run and execute everything that we need to, pit stops, restarts, and all that, and hopefully come away with one more win.
Well, Josh, I can guarantee this much. You are well versed in post-race interviews because you answered the question without ever answering the question and moved right on along like we never even asked, man. Great job on that one to not put yourself on in a shaky spot with any of the drivers out there. But nonetheless, man, congratulations on yet another podium finish here this season. Before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody back home or at the shop?
Uh, Not, it's just been, with one race left, it's been fun racing with all these guys this year. So, uh, it's a fun series to race in. Appreciate Don and Silverback Tax Solutions, everything that, all the effort that goes into making this series happen every Wednesday night. It's been fun, and hopefully we can have one more fun night next week.
All right, my man. Well, one more left, and we look to trying to catch up with you at Homestead.
All right, thanks, Dave.
All right, there you have it. Josh Weinrich walks away in third. And you know you're good at interviews when you can answer a question without answering the question. I like the way that Weinrich worded everything and kind of sidestepped, tiptoed around who he thought may be the most dangerous moving forward to Homestead. Nonetheless, great race run for him and his crew. The 84 of Weinrich walks away in third. That's going to move us right along in the running order to the driver that walked away in second here tonight. Let's see if we can't dial him up. Our good buddy, your pole sitter here tonight inside that Ayers Eye Racing Paints number 30 machine, Justin Gannis. Dave, how you feeling after this one?
Oh, relieved, man. It was definitely holding the steering wheel pretty tight tonight. But
Yeah,
it was a blast.
holding it tight and holding it pretty much all night long, huh? I mean, you qualified on pole. You ran up front inside the top, I believe, 4 pretty much all race long. How intense is it after you get those quick little succession of cautions at the start of a race to running that long green flag?
Yeah, I didn't expect it. When I was kind of burning my tires up a little bit, hoping to keep the lead, and it just didn't work out for me. Todd and Josh were able to save a lot better than I could. But it seemed like there at the very end of the runs, I was gaining some good ground on older tires, but by that time I was already committed to my pit strategy, so I kind of stuck with it in hopes that something might go my way, and didn't quite work too well, but I'll take a second place for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, a great points day for you. Not that you really needed a great points day. You were pretty much locked in to the championship 8, but I'm going to throw a little bit of a scenario at you here. Weinrich has got 4 wins. Cray now picks up his 4th win on the season. Do you think you can pick up your 4th race win to tie him in the winner column next week, but then add that championship trophy just as like a ha-ha?
I mean, I like both of them. I don't really want to do it, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I can't let them up me by 1 win. So
Starting some controversy. Gotta get it going, you know what I mean, man?
oh yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good race at Homestead. So still a lot of fast guys in the chase. So Tommy, he's fast and very good on fuel strategies. So he's definitely gonna be a good contender as well. So.
Yeah, I said it earlier in the broadcast. If you're one of the 8 that make it into the championship lineup, then you deserve to be there for a reason, and you better watch out because any one of you guys have got a shot. So you better bring your A game, and I hope to be talking to you at the end of next week's race at Homestead Miami Speedway. But first, Justin, before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody back home or at the shop?
Oh yeah, Ayers Eye Racing Paints for sponsoring the car. I gotta thank 4X for the support throughout the race. All the drivers out there on the track giving room, appreciate that. I want to thank the admins behind the scenes for running things. Um, I gotta thank Silverback Tax Solutions for sponsoring the series, and I want to thank you guys over there at Turn 3 for putting on the broadcast.
Well, we appreciate you letting us put on this great racing action to all the fans in the stands and around the world watching here. It's easy when you got an easy product, and you guys have got some great racers out there. Justin, again, congratulations on another podium this season, and we'll see if you can't make it one spot better next week. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, man.
There you go. Justin Gann stepping away from the track here tonight. Walks away with the pole, but finishes in second. Happy with the second place. Happy to move on to Homestead. Gann walks away in second. That's going to move us right along. You already know where we're going. We're heading to Victory Lane, and we're going to find none other than our good buddy, the 22 of Todd Gray, parked right here in Victory Lane, his fourth checkered flag in hand. Todd, how you feeling after being able to snatch the lead and walk away with the win?
Yeah, man, feeling pretty good. Perfect time of the season here to get on a roll. Had a good finish last week. Backed it up this week. We like to see that, and happy with the run tonight. Fun race, long race. Trying to hydrate over here. It was definitely a long one tonight, but got stretched out. But brought a little everything tonight as far as with the pit strategy and tire wear, and trying to make the right passes. And I had a little contact there with Josh, which apologize for, but we were racing tough. He was running his line and doing a little blocking, and I was searching around. So what a good race.
Yeah, absolutely good race. And you mentioned it before we had a chance to bring it up right here. You and Weinrich went at it. I mean, side by side, lap after lap, nose to tail. Great racing action. Was there ever a time, I don't want to say that you were worried or concerned, but was there ever a, I'm not sure I should be here right now kind of feeling?
Yeah, that happens every once in a while. Josh runs a tight line, and when you go to pass him, you better hold your line and keep your stuff together, because he's tough. He's a tough competitor, and we were having fun. Like I said, I mean, his breaking points were pulling back, and it was really hard to estimate and get good runs, and then trying to hold the bottom, and he was getting a heck of a run off the top, and then next thing I know, I look in the rear view and there's Gann on us, and it made for a really cool race tonight. But I believe we had the best car, and I think the best car sitting in victory lane tonight.
Well, we can't argue with the best car being in victory lane here tonight to prove so on the speed charts. Don, you walked away with your fourth race win. As we said, congratulations on that. Congratulations on moving to Homestead with a shot for the championship. So before we let you go and celebrate everything and get ready for a championship run, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody back home or at the shop?
Yeah, I think we'll start off tonight with ECM Motorsports. Darren, I see my teammate Clark there. Tapped in on the chat room. I see Jess there. So we got a win for Jess. That's a pretty big deal. I won't get yelled at later on. I mean, everything Swift Motorsports does, Silverback Tax Solutions, BUTTKICKER, Turn 3 Racing, Infinite Hero, Pets in Paradise, and everything, everybody that helps out to get me here on the track. Appreciate it. And hopefully we can keep this momentum going into next week. Would have been nice if Pheonix was the finale, one of our best tracks, but we'll see what we could do there. Haven't had much luck there, but try to get some hours in on that track this week and see what we can do.
Well, Todd, we got one more left to go, so keep it clean and keep it fast, and we hope to catch up with you in Homestead.
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate it, Dave. Thank you.
All right, there you go, Todd Gray. He said it. He thinks they were the best car, and he thinks the best car finished in victory lane. It's kind of hard to argue with the best car finishing in victory lane, as he was able to take that top spot and build the gaps multiple times here tonight. Todd Gray walks away with his fourth checkered flag of the year. What a run, what a night under the lights right here at Pheonix Raceway in the Rattlesnake 170. That's right, it was the final cutoff race. We'll have championship points up as soon as we can get them to you. What a run, what a night we had here tonight. I can't go over of a night and a run this was for all of the drivers out there. Great job by each and every one of them. And well, it's time to go ahead and run down your unofficial race results right here from Pheonix Raceway in the Rattlesnake 170 for Swift Motorsports BUTTKICKER Silverback Tax Solutions Xfinity Series. And well, that's the qualifying results. We'll get you the race results. There they are. Todd Gray walks away with his fourth checkered flag. Justin Gann pads his back pocket with another pole position, but finishes back in second. Josh Weinrich dominating the field here tonight for quite some time. The 84 finishes back in third. Fourth place tonight belongs to Mike Rominger. The 14 of Jason Stewart gonna come home in fifth. Tommy Haynes walk away in sixth, while Nick Hunt parks the 00 Depends Gardner Manhood Toyota Supra back in seventh. David Elliott in eighth. Gary May brings the 10 machine home in ninth place, rounding out your top 10. The 5 Mobile 1 machine of Chad Osborne. KC Duncan gonna finish tonight's race back in 11th, 12th place tonight to the 32 Busch Light. The sponsored machine of Darren Clement. Stephen Ayers Jr. gonna finish in 13th. John Wimbish with some early race trouble. The 56 Texaco Havalee machine finishes in 14th, and rounding out the running order here tonight in his TRD sponsored Toyota Supra, the 23 of Jackson Bell. Big shout out to Race Control and Admins just down the hall, Andy Starcher and Don Kidder, for all you do week in, week out. We've got one more week to go, gentlemen. Let's get ready for championship week right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. With that being said, if you haven't already, show these drivers some love and appreciation. Join us in that push to 3,000 subscribers. Drop these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side to get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you. Each and every time you stop by, we're going to cut off the lights and get ready to head to Homestead. Until then, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and we'll see ya in Turn 3.